Welcome to Healthy Cooking, and today's episode is about foods I love to eat. We're going to talk about some basic foods that you can get at the supermarket that I class as superfoods, foods that you try and eat all the time, and they're just staples at the supermarket. I'm going to make today it could be a halibut or it could be cod. My preference is always cod because it's a typical fish and chip dish. And we're going to make a very lean fish and chips. I'm going to give you the recipe for oven baked fries and a very simple ketchup that you can make. But the one that I'd like to show you is the cod fillets. So they're just pieces of cod fillet that we're going to make and bread them and then bake them as opposed to frying them. Typically a fish and chips is fried, so you're always getting fried food, and this one is a lot healthier choice for you. Now, cod typically is only a little bit of fat, so about 0.5 or 0.5% fat, compared to something like salmon, which can be 18% fat. But the bonus with salmon is you're going to get those omega-3 fatty acids in there. This one you're going to get the benefits of the fish, but you're not going to get as many fatty acids in there. In fact, it's a very lean fish, but it's an excellent fish for fish and chips. So I'm using cod today, but you could use halibut, you could use sole, whatever you want to use in this particular dish is great. We're going to use just a little bit of flour so that it'll cling to egg whites. We're not using beaten eggs, but we're using just beaten egg whites. And we've got some panko crumbs, whole wheat panko crumbs, so a little bit of white, a little bit of whole wheat, and that's what we're going to use for the fish at the end. So I'm going to give you a very quick demonstration on how to make a healthier fish and bake it in the oven as opposed to frying French fries or chips, making unfried fish. These are all done in the oven. Everything's baked and much healthier for you. So let's start off with foods I love to pick up at the supermarket. So I call them superfoods. There's lots of superfoods out there, but there's 15 that I love that you can pick up all the time at the supermarket. And I'm going to start off with blueberries. Blueberries are just a wonderful fruit. You can put them on cereal, you can bake with them, you can do almost anything with blueberries. And the reason I like them is it's got the B vitamins and it's got vitamin C in there, which is great for the skin. Just great all around healthy fruit to have if you can get them. But really a bonus to the skin, antioxidant. It's going to be great protection against all those diseases that we get in Canada, like cardiovascular disease and cancer. Second is broccoli. Broccoli is always available. It's a wonderful vegetable. Don't throw away the stem. You can stir fry the stem, and it's got beta carotene, and it's great protection against cancer in particular and cardiovascular disease. So always pick up a little bit of broccoli as you go to the supermarket. Anything with flaxseed. You can do anything with flaxseed. In fact, I could put a little bit of crushed flaxseed in things. Flaxseed, we tend to walk by the flaxseed, but it's got the omega-3 fatty acids in. And we talked about salmon in an earlier episode about the omega-3 fatty acids. Same thing with flaxseed. I love it. It's going to lower your cholesterol, lower your blood pressure. Excellent to have in your diet. Next of all, in one episode we talked about legumes, the benefits of legumes. So any kind of legumes, even if you buy canned beans, is good. But if you can go to the bulk zone, the bulk part, and pick up things like lentils, and you can pick up beans, you're going to get things like folate, iron, potassium. You're just going to lower your cholesterol, and it's something that you can add, either put some beans in a salad, put beans in a soup, put it into a stew, wherever you can put in some beans. And I especially like lentils. The darker lentils have got lots and lots of fiber in them. But at the very least, the red and the yellow lentils, they cook very fast, they're a good choice too. So legumes, I always pick up some legumes when I'm at the supermarket. Low-fat yogurt is kind of where you're going to get the calcium. So if you can get a little bit of low-fat plain yogurt, and it's got the natural culture in there, then you're going to find that's going to give you the calcium, the protein. It's going to help your bones. Next is nuts. We've talked briefly about nuts and vitamin E. Vitamin E obviously is great for lowering cholesterol, but it's also good for your skin, to keep healthy skin. Remember, the skin is an organ too. Oatmeal. Oatmeal, if you can pick up oatmeal and have that for breakfast every once in a while, it's fantastic. It's got soluble fiber, and there's a steel cut oats that you can get, which takes a little bit longer to cook. The longer you have to cook it, the better it is for you. Try and avoid the instant oatmeal, the 3-minute oatmeal. Get the longer cooking oatmeal. Cook it the day before, let it chill down, put it in your fridge, reheat it the next day. Much, much better for you. Next of all is, and we talked about it in one episode, is salmon. Any kind of oily fish, doesn't matter what kind of oily fish. If you go to the supermarket now, they'll have a little fish section there. You'll see things with, there might be some mackerel there. Salmon is always available, herrings, but salmon is very easy to cook. It's got the omega-3 fatty acids, great protection for cardiovascular disease. And if you look at the studies, there's been studies done with indigenous populations to the north. Their diet is based a lot on fatty fish. You know, they'll eat seal meat, they'll eat all kinds of fatty fish in the diet. So it's almost exclusively, they're not eating too many meats, but they're eating fatty fish. And they found that they have next to no cardiovascular disease. It's almost eliminated out of that society. So we know that fatty fish, oily fish, no matter how much you eat, is good for you. I mean, we recommend not to eat too much because of the mercury in some of the farmed fish that we get now, but at least once or twice a week, try and get a little bit of salmon in your diet. And if not, if you want to go with mackerel is an excellent fish. It's a fatty fish too. And you'll see there's all kinds of fish available at the supermarket, fresh fish. Put those in your diet, you're going to get those amazing omega-3 fatty acids. Next of all, you'll see I cook with it quite a lot. Today I'm just going to brush a little bit, is olive oil. Olive oil we associate with the Mediterranean diet. The Mediterranean diet is one of the, I think it's a healthy diet, something I like to eat. They have lots of carbs in there, all kinds of things, but it's good overall for lowering your cholesterol, and it's going to maintain that HDL, maintain the good cholesterol in your body by using olive oil, as opposed to some of the other oils, or definitely over things like butter and bacon fat, lard, anything that's solid at room temperature. But they are recommended. It's a monounsaturated fat, but new research has showed it's very healthy for you. And you're going to see that it's a big part of the Mediterranean diet. I like also to pick up some oranges. Oranges, although they're there all the time, we don't use them enough. Oranges obviously have vitamin C. They prevent free radical disease. So let's say free radical damage, it'll keep the cells alive in your body, keep the tissue alive. So a little bit of fresh orange juice, or just eating an orange, you're going to get the fiber also if you eat the fresh oranges. So I love oranges. Bell peppers, you've seen that on the episodes we've done, we've cooked a lot with red bell peppers, but any kind of bell peppers. They sell orange, green, red bell peppers at the supermarket, and again, lots of protection against cancer, antioxidants in there, which is very important, and always available. You know, all these foods you're just going to see are all at the supermarket, but you try not to walk by them. Try and cook if you can. I love quinoa. Quinoa is my favorite grain. I mean, it's been around for thousands of years. It's been part of the Andean diet in South America for years and years, in Peru and Bolivia, and these indigenous people there that have been eating quinoa for many years. It's now in the West, you can pick it up at the supermarket. We still choose rice over quinoa, but if you can put quinoa into your diet, even if you put it in once or twice a week, you're going to get all the benefits of fiber, protein. It's a great part of a vegetarian diet, but that fiber is terrific. You'll also find that it's gluten-free, so if you have any kind of allergy to gluten, or you're on a gluten-free diet, quinoa is great to be in there. I also like red grapes. I always pick up red grapes at the supermarket. They've got lots of antioxidants. You can snack on grapes when you want a little snack, as opposed to going to something that's processed or something out the freezer. Grapes are wonderful, so great protection against cancer. Spinach. If you can get fresh spinach, and it cooks super fast. It's one of the fastest vegetables to cook. You can do all kinds of things with spinach. Put it into a salad. It's got folate, it's got iron. It's just a great antioxidant as well for in your diet. So don't forget to pick up a little bit of fresh spinach. I mean, you get a big package like this, and when you cook it, it goes down to nothing. So you know, you think you're buying lots, but when you cook it, but you're getting all the benefits of that. Of the spinach in there. Folate is the one that I really like. Tomatoes, if you can buy fresh tomatoes. We're all using tomatoes in all kinds of different things. Lipocaines in there. You've got all these things that will protect you against cancer, things, antioxidants that will protect you against cancer. So I would include tomatoes in there as well. Always pick up a few tomatoes and do something with them. So that's it. All these different foods that you can pick up at the supermarket, very easy to cook with, very easy to make simple dishes with, like I've been making on these episodes. This one is going to be quite simple too. It's really just cod fillets. And like I say, you could buy the same with halibut if you wanted a little bit of halibut, and sole fillets tend to be a little bit thinner, so they'll take a little less time. It only takes about 5 or 6 minutes in the oven. And all we're going to do is take the cod fillets, and we like to season them first. So you can put in just a little bit of lemon juice. You can put in, if you want, a little touch of Worcestershire sauce is one of my favorites to use there. Put the lemon juice, toss it around. So once you put lemon juice in, it tends to be a little wet. I like the lemon juice so I don't have to use salt. If I can avoid salt, I do. I'm going to pass it through a little bit of flour. Just shake off most of that flour. Put it into your egg white. So a little bit of lemon. You can put a little bit of pepper on as well if you want to put a little bit of pepper on, but I'm going to include a very simple ketchup, a little healthier ketchup than the normal ketchup with this one, and I'm going to include some fries, oven baked fries. So we're going to take these into the egg white, then into the panko crumbs, and I usually just push them down slightly and then onto a baking sheet. So you can see just that flour just helps the egg white cling to the fish, and then the panko crumbs go in at the end. Now typically you could take something like this. I mean, obviously typically you would make a fish with a beer batter or some kind of batter that you can fry, but you do get a lot of saturated fat by doing that, and you lose really the healthy benefits of the fish. So by doing this, you're going to get the healthy benefits of the fish. Also going to bread your fingers just a little bit, like I always do. I'll do these other pieces too. A little bit of flour. Some chefs like to season the flour. Just put lots of seasoning in the flour. I actually like to season the breadcrumbs. So these breadcrumbs that I've got here have some seasonings in. I put a little bit of turmeric in, a bit of cumin, a little coriander, and you can actually put a little bit of curry in there if you want. But by seasoning the breadcrumbs with the breadcrumbs, you're going to get this kind of spicy crust on, if you like. But if you want to, you can season the flour. Some chefs season the flour, and some chefs will season the fish itself and make sure the fish is well seasoned. I like to put a few spices right into the panko crumbs, and by doing that, you're going to have this nice spicy crust at the end. And I'll do the last piece, and as we get that into the egg white and into the crumbs. So, and you can put any kind of seasons in. I like spices because it's going to eliminate a lot of the salt, and with this little ketchup I've given you, you'll find also that you won't need any salt with this. We've got a little bit of lemon juice in there, we've got the spices, so we don't need lots and lots of salt in there. Just going to wipe my hands, and what I do is I just take a little touch of olive oil. I'll bring it over here so you can see. Take a little touch of olive oil, and we're just going to brush the fish with a little touch of olive oil. And so instead of frying it, you're just going to have that little oil, and that little bit of oil is going to give you a nice browned look to the fish as well, but you're going to avoid the frying part of the fish altogether. I'm going to take this, pop it in the oven. Usually only takes somewhere from about, if it's a nice thin fish, 6 minutes, and you put it into a 400 oven, and that should be enough time to get you a little bit of colour to that, so it's ready to go. You try not to overcook a lean fish like this, so I'm going to say about 6 minutes, 7 minutes, get a little bit of colour to it, and you're ready to go. Oven baked fries take longer. I will include the recipe, and I will include a little bit of ketchup so that you don't need too much seasoning. But this has lots of flavour, and it's a great option to the traditional fish and chips that you would get. Okay, we'll see you in a few minutes. And there you have it. So it's very easy to make. I like to get just a little bit of colour to the fish, just so it looks like a fried fish, but it's a great alternative to having kind of a fried cod, if you like, or a fried halibut. Anyway, that's it for this week. If you want the recipe, it'll be coming up very shortly, and there will be a oven baked potato in there, and also a ketchup to go with this. I'll see you again next week on Healthy Cooking.